Yo, people. I was gonna headphone it, yeah, but I can't be bothered. So, there's no place like home. What's going on, people? Told you it's competition day, so gotta jump in, gotta connect with all the people. I hope you're good. I hope everyone's not feeling too much cabin fever for all like this. I'm gonna jump in right now with Ball Star, talk about some entrepreneurship, some life stuff, some money stuff, some family stuff. But hope you enjoy the chat. Yo, the competition winner will just land anywhere. So lock in, tell your friends. If you can, guys, please share it, pass it on to another friend, pass it on. We're going to dive into some entrepreneurship right now. Let's get into this, man. Where's World Star at? Let's get right into the chat. I'm not even waiting. Like, I should just let it build up, but I can't bother, man. I want to just get straight into the chat.
Yo, what's good, my guy?
Brother? Out here, yeah?
You're looking fresh, man.
Put you in a little office. You know what I do, you know.
Yeah, you're looking good, bro. You're radiant. You're radiant right now.
Bruv, man. It's not how I do. What's going on, Dre Beats? What's going on, Damien? I've been doing these lives for a bit now, so big up to everyone that has been tuning in. Wall Star here is like the most humblest guy I know. But he's out here doing bits, right? He's like, man's just out here in the range, just like, that's all right. That's
man. You know what, bruv? And as well, I just want to big up to you because a long time ago, before I had the fucking range, before I had the business, I was following your page. Yeah. Like, I've always read your messages and everything, mate, and they've always given me that little bit of inspiration. Is it? All right, now it's great, mate. That's it.
What's going on, Erica?
I'm going to eat pizza as we chat in a sec. But honestly, like, your quotes and everything that you've done, like, even from the beginning, before I was even had a business, had like helped me out massively. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think it like something like this as well, it sort of almost shows, like, you just got to have it in your heart to be able to inspire, right? Because you don't like necessarily need millions of people to be following you in order to be able to like inspire people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
Like a small amount, like the impact that can have on one person can be quite paramount. And in the future, they could potentially blow up, man. And do you know what I mean? Like, that inspiration from like the first source can just mean a lot, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up Tiger Beats as well, man. What you saying, bro? He's got some mad beats.
Going on, brother? Big going on DP Quiz.
Well.
Just jumped
Blux, my guy Blux, what you saying? Mad producer Ben, I love you all, man. Hope you're all blessed. Thank you for tuning in. And follow this guy as well if you're not. I'm sure they are, but you know what I mean? If they're not, make sure they do, because
follow the team. Get the free giveaways. but I definitely I definitely hear what you're saying. Like, obviously, like, my main mentors have been in the game for long, like, you know, Mega Man, D Fresh. And I remember, like, in ends, they were superstars. And to you, it felt like they were huge when they weren't. But they were giving me mad gems real early. And now they're flying. And you're like, oh, rock. Like,
they're just, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I could inspire someone from like my videos that I do, and they could like grow quicker than I do from the inspiration that I've given them. But like, that's a beautiful thing, because it doesn't really, like, end of the day, I think inspiration's inspiration, in it. And as long as you're putting that good energy out to the world, like, you're doing your bit, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, if you can inspire someone to that degree where they start to really take off, like, how like, what a great feeling that should be for you. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think it's also like being happy for them as well. It's hard, isn't it? You know, because a lot of the time, like before, years ago before, I found that when someone would be taken off, say for example, music industry, when like a friend would be sort of maybe taken off before me, I would kind of feel like it was this subconscious enviness that I didn't even know that I had. You know what I'm saying? And that was like blocking me and holding me back so much, because my attention was so focused on other people rather than what I was doing. And I had to like really teach my ego just to shut up, and like, just like, end of the day, everyone's got their own time to shine. And it may not be your time right now, but in the future, you know, it's going to align at some point, as long as you keep true to who you are. Do you know what I'm saying? So
that level of perseverance and kind of just staying in your own lane and staying on your own path. As long as you believe in your vision, it will happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
What's going on, D-Part? I've got D-Part in here as well, man. He's like and D part as
Again
well,
on
man.
Taylor.
Yeah, man. Like this guy, he was like early days when he was MCing and that, he was like hitting the big platforms and stuff, and he inspired me. You know what I'm saying? Big time. Like, and I was small then. I wasn't even about, man. I wasn't even about. You know what I'm saying? So like, man like that, he's jumping into this chat now, and like, you know, Chris, what are you saying, Chris, as well? Another guy that's been following my journey and stuff. So yeah, man, that's what I love about communities and Instagram as well. Like, I feel like once you've got a nice tight community, there's a lot of inspiration can happen from other people's, like, you know, thing that can inspire you. It doesn't necessarily have to be music. It could just be them showing that they're dedicated to their craft, which can then inspire you as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So
definitely,
you know
I hear that, man.
think,
Big up to Dress Deco. He's got a cool little clothing range. He started a little while ago, and he always jumps. He's always in my comments, and he's always like, "Jay, this got me up this morning." Nice. And I'm like, to be honest, we almost came off. Because I hear what you're saying, and we almost came off the quotes for a while because we just didn't feel like it was doing the viral thing.
Really?
But
oh no!
When I started hitting the DMs, like DMs from like Just Deco and just loads of rappers. Every now and again, you get a little inbox, and it'll be, "Yo, where was the quote, brother?" And I'm like, "Yo, I wasn't even thinking about it."
I need them. I need them. Maybe like, bro, you know, sometimes, yeah, like, and that's the thing as well. Like, I think that's the danger as well of taking metrics in terms of like follows and like likes, in terms of thinking, oh, is this creating any value? Because like, could you imagine, like, even if it was 10 likes, right? But then 10 people took so much inspiration from that one thing and it changed their day. Like, there's value in that. And this is the thing,
I think it was just like you said, value, that value part of it, because we were putting up quotes, and me and the wife are like, nah, I'd rather wait and we really research some proper quotes that are going to impact people for value than be putting up there in one day that kind of don't mean too much.
He was kind of going, kind of looking for more the quality rather than just pummeling loads out, you know.
So so you see our traffic, we slowed down our posts drastically. Like, I'm probably posting like twice a day on my wall now, three times if we've got something going on and I really want to like push the agenda. But other than that, we just said, you know what? I'm not looking at followers. I'm not looking at all the likes. I'm just doing the work.
Right. My missus, my missus, right? She's got 28,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah, she told me the biggest lesson in this whole social media game, and I've learned a lot from her in terms of her growth. And you know, she just gets it. Like, you know, you get them people that just in tune. You know what I'm saying? But she said to me, never ever look at how many followers you got. Never ever look how many likes you get on your picture. Just keep everything real and relevant to what you feel. So like, I was thinking, shit, you know what, that's right. Like, I was like posting this, for example, like music thing, and I at the time it was a bit like, oh, I wasn't even really feeling like me posting it, and I was just like doing stuff for the sake of shit, and it was like, that was the wrong approach, man. So now I'm like, right, what do I feel today? And if it's like, oh, I feel successful today, I'm gonna post success today. You know what I'm saying? Am I feeling R&B? Am I feeling just wavy today? I'll post.
Am I feeling real light skin today?
I'll post Let's Talk, film me, which is the R&B vibe, and like, it's working, man. And I just think, fuck, you know what? You know, it's so true. But obviously, consistency is still key. But it's just almost documenting how you feel and putting it into a representation of posts. In a weird way, you know what I'm saying? Like
I grew up watching like old school kung fu movies, and they'd always drop gems, right? But the biggest gem is from like D2S will know this, because we always say it, is emotional content. Like, if there's no emotional value in what you're saying, it doesn't have any relevance.
It doesn't resonate. I know, man. It's so
whatsoever. Like I put up a post.
Say, bro? There's a study, isn't there? Like, there's like a study in terms of like your physiology, in terms of how your body is and how your like emotion is, opposed to what you say. So I think it is like 90% is like physiology and 10% is what you say in terms of words. So that's where the emotion is so important in terms of like trying to convey that realness. Because if it's not real, you're not going to put the emotion in. And if the emotion isn't there, it's not going to connect with the audience.
It doesn't translate. Yeah. That sincerity in everything that I do. And I joke, because I learned that the hard way. Like, I remember just putting up stuff, and then literally I was going through something, because obviously we made the transition from Team Mackenzie to Legacy London pretty quick.
I see that as well.
And we literally, I remember just started writing. I was having some bad days, but I was still blogging. Like, I said to people, I want you to see what bad days look like. And I'm blogging.
You don't want to
you don't want to blog with the highlights. That's not real. Like, like,
I know, if you just document that part of the perception, people are gonna. It's not almost a real representation of like what you are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I was on Instagram stories the other day, and like when I released my latest EP, Free Magic, and Ghost on Link Up TV, which went mad like that week.
Your artwork is bonkers for Ghost, by the way.
But do you know what, bro? I was on stories, one day on stories, and I was so fucking emotional, right? And it was just like in the moment, in the present moment, and I thought to myself, I started like crying in the fucking story, and I thought to myself, no, I can't put that on. But then something told me, bro, put it on. Just be you right now. Who gives a shit? Like, and do you know what? From that point in time, I remember, like from that point forward, like I thought I didn't care what other people thought of me until that point. But when I said to myself, don't put it up, I thought to myself, bro, you're still not there yet. You're still not 100% like documenting your life as it is. And you know, from that day forward, I was like, I don't care now. Like, there's a quote that I've actually got in my studio, and like I'll show you it now, right? This is the quote that I put up, right? What other people think of me is none of my business, right? And I literally
I know that one.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing I fucking see, because you know what? How many people are actually sacrificing the life they want and like working towards their dreams and their aspirations purely on the basis and caring of what other people will think of them and their perception. And that is so painful, bro. Like, thinking that, and
it's almost toxic. Like, I know so many people that will be on a certain trajectory towards a place, and I'll leave them for a while, I'll let them do what they're doing, and then come back and they're completely moved. And I'm like, what happened? And they were like, my mum said this, or my auntie said this, or my boyfriend said this. And I always hit them with the, it's a mad little quote, but it's basically, don't let people distract you. And along the lines is basically, too many people want to tell you where you're going when they've never been there. And I swear to God, it sticks with me. Everybody's got directions to a destination that they've never been to, but want to give you the directions. And I'm like, bro, you got to let it go. You have to just let it go. Yeah, you got to just.
And this is why I love you as well, bro. This is why I love you, because we think on the same wavelengths. The things are said in different ways, but this concept in the terms of the way of thinking is the same. You know what I mean? And like, it's just so true, man. And I just thought to myself, you know what? Now I'm just gonna be the realest reflection of who I am and who I be. I'm not gonna give a shit about who follows me, but I'm gonna pretend like there's a million people following me, and I'm gonna give them all the value I possibly can in my podcast, in my music, in my YouTube video, and like even my engineering business. I'm gonna give my customers everything of me, and it's gonna be me. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I make that shift in terms of like the way I'm actually perceiving stuff and the way I'm actually like living, like I start to attract in my life so much resource to be able to do what I've got to do. And this is the thing, like, this is, I literally today, I dropped the podcast, right, in terms of like talking about attracting wealth and the laws of affluence in terms of circulating energy so you can actually provide your purpose on this earth to provide value and good for people. You know what I mean? And like, I really explained how that when you're in line with your purpose and your real goals, and when you're really like resonating that real, like, that love inside of your heart in terms of I love this. I fucking love this shit. You know what I mean?
That's what I get. Really... And that little thing there is what gets you up every single day. And I always tell people, you have to find it. Don't dig. You've read Think Big, Grow Rich, innit? And I always hear those quotes.
Like,
it's the book, bro.
Like, you know, this is the classic, man. Like, I've read it. Like, I've listened to the audio.
Guys, if you haven't got that book, and you're an entrepreneur, I highly suggest you go and pick up that
Yeah,
book.
it's a change. It's a
Because
life changer.
like
Cole,
when
my
he
guy
talk,
Cole, has been reading it. Like he's just, he's like, yes, he knows because
the
he's on
Think
that
and Grow
wave
Rich,
right
that's
now, and
it.
he's just like, Will, he messaged me the other day saying, "Oh my god, this book, bro, this is mad." I'm like, bro, you've not
Life
started to
changing.
find it yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look, the best thing I've
Bro,
read, life changing.
when I read that whole you know, don't give up 10 steps before gold. Like I was like, people, so many people do it. They dig and they dig and they spend years digging and they're basically right there. But because
They
of
just,
somebody else, it's
bro,
just that little bit.
couple more digs, they'd have got there. And do you know what? That story, mate, it's funny you said that story and you mentioned that one because that stuck with me forever as well, that particular story, like 3 foot from gold. And like
Yeah,
now I'm just thinking that you can't ever stop because you don't know if you're
don't.
3 feet from that goal. And it may seem that you're
Yeah.
miles away. It may seem you're on a complete wrong path. But
Well,
you
that's
don't
why you
know.
need to check in. You need to check in on your other entrepreneurs because when you're in the situation, you can't see it. It's
You
like
can't
trying to
see it,
look
man.
inside your head.
Yeah.
So me
Bro,
checking in
it's
on
so
you,
real.
so me checking in on you is I'm looking at what you're doing and I can see the artwork and I can see the vision. I'm going, bruv, don't you dare stop. Like,
I know.
because
Thank you for that. And you know what?
but
Like, I've been getting like for you guys that are in here. I've been like, I always go to like when I release something new. I always go to my guy Jermaine, and I'm always like, bro, like, what do you think of this? And he will always give me. This is what you need in your life as well. This is what will make you improve. You need mentors and people that will give you realness and their
yeah,
real opinion in terms of how you grow. That's the most important thing. Don't get people that are just going to say that's it, bro, because that's not what you need. You need people that are going to sort of not are not going to like put you down, but they're going to pick
you need
apart that shit.
constructive
You know what I'm saying?
criticism.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And do you know what?
yeah,
He's given me a lot of this constructive criticism years ago, and this stuff has been applied already. You know what I'm saying? So now we come to the stage where he's like, bro, you're getting it now. You're on point now. So it's like,
yeah,
there's where the growth comes, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you need in
yeah.
your life. You need people that are going to be able to tell you what you need to get to the next stage. You know, this is no ego shit. I'm not like, oh, you didn't like it and crying on my pillow at night. I'm like, no, this is great. This is what I need.
Yeah.
I need this information and I'll go apply it.
Time invested into what you're doing. Like I always tell people, don't ever look at Legacy London and think, oh, we've just got this sponsor this year. I started my company in 2012. It's 2020,
Wow.
bruv. We only started like busting through the door 2 years ago.
That's what I mean. Because what did Gary Vee say as well? What did Gary Vee say? He always says it. He says it like people want overnight success, and it doesn't exist, man.
Not really.
Like the real people that are here and sustainable are people that have grinded for years. Like I think he was talking about Joe Rogan, where he had nothing for years, and it was so like small. But now look at Joe Rogan. But if he had quit in that period, we wouldn't have no Joe Rogan. And how mad is that? I think we wouldn't have no Joe.
If he'd have just not said, let me just do this YouTube thing. Like, remember, Joe Rogan's a grown-ass man. Like, big, I think it must be here in his 50s now. Like, most men in their 50s are not thinking about YouTube as a thing. They're like, you know, I'll jump on there and talk a bit. and it just happened. Like, it just went. And I always tell people, like, your blessings are yours to receive or yours to block.
Bro, so true. And that's a gem there as well, man. Like, I like that a lot. I like that. Like, I'm gonna put it on the board.
Because it's there. So many people say, you know, I don't have this because of this, or I didn't do this because of this. And I'm like, no, you didn't do that because of you. Stop the bullshit. Exactly. It was you.
That's
and then he'll go
awareness, isn't it? And I think that in Think and Grow Rich as well, he really fucking outlines that right. Like, you can't blame anyone but you. Like, even if there's something external that happens and you have no control over it, you should still somewhere learn from the lesson, A, or B, have some sort of backup plan just in case. And this is the thing as well. Like, there's another story as well, like, that I heard from Grant Cardone. I don't know if you follow him. I like him. He's a great inspirational guy. But he said, you know, if, for example, you had a business and it relied on electricity, and you was in your house, you was doing your business, and you relied on that electricity like you needed it so much, right? But then all the power cut. Who would you blame? And I was thinking to myself, well, bloody hell, like the electricity company, you know, something like that. But and he said, no. Where was your backup generator? And I was like, oh, fuck, man. Like, he said, if your business is worth that much money, and you're going to lose that much, where's your risk management and thinking, right, what if this happens? What if that happens? How like, backed up are you in terms of your business plan? And do you know what? If people, like through this whole COVID situation, if people would have had these backup plans, right, we would probably see a much higher percentage of people not going out of business than what are. Right?
Yeah,
you have to remember, I know it's sad, bruv, and I get it, and I honestly feel really fucking bad for the people that have had businesses go out and fail from this. And I know a couple of friends in the engineering sector that really, they're gone. They don't even exist anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of this. But at the same time, it's also exposed, and it also has exposed the people that weren't going hard enough, and it's exposed the people that were coasting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to succeed in life,
it's also exposed a lot of classism. I know a lot of people that are very, like you said, secure in a situation and are happy to just kind of mull along, thinking everything will be okay and everything will be the same. Nothing's ever the same. Like, go and look at the history of the world. Nothing's the same.
It changes, man. So real. Look at 2008 as well. People got to use this as a bit of an example. I know there's different beasts in terms of what the economy is going to be before and after, but you have to have a look. There was a lot of millionaires made from the year 2008, 9 onwards as well. There's opportunity as well within this time. And like, okay, fair play. I was furloughed. I'm still furloughed, right? I lost thousands, and I'm not even joking. I'm not even going to say figures, right? Because it's too painful. but at the same time. Same time, I'm not sitting here crying into my pillow thinking, oh, how much am I lost? I could have done that. I'm not doing that shit. I'm actually online and I'm learning a new online business, right? So like when shit does hit the fan, I've got other passive income coming. Do you know what? I was actually grateful for this shit because I thought I didn't have the time to learn a new skill before. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the time. I had to like focus on the IGTs, you know, the income generated task of my business that took up all of my time. So now I've got this opportunity where I can like, right, I'm learning something new now. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm learning a complete new business.
Add the value.
Exactly. And bro, like, you know what? I'm grateful, man. I give thanks every single day to God, man. I say, thank you, God, for giving me the will and strength to see the equivalent benefit every single time something comes and strikes me down. Because if I didn't see that in that way, I wouldn't be able to take the lesson out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and every single lesson generally grows me more than any success. Any success, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Like,
you get so much out of the L. The win is something that goes to the back of your mind. It's almost like when you're winning championships, basketball, whatever, boxing. When they're winning, you're winning. You're just, I'm good. I can't lose. Then you lose.
Bro.
Then you go, okay, let's readjust, let's recalibrate.
It's a bit like the AJ situation, isn't it, with Ruiz, man? Like,
I knew you were going to say that.
Bro, like how everyone writ him off, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I didn't believe it because I knew that he was built from a different caliber. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you just know some people are just, their mindset is so strong. And like, I knew that from him. And everyone was like, oh, he's going to lose and all that. I was like, no, he's not going to lose. One time I never said he was going to lose. And how he came back on top was, for me, was just such an inspirational thing because it just goes to show, like, you can be winning and everyone's going to be on your ass, man. Everyone's going to be on your dick, bro, when you're winning. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, bro, he's the king, bro. Like, you know when you start losing, like, people are going to start fucking pointing the finger as well. But you know what? Regardless of whether you're winning or whether you're losing, as long as you can keep that positive mindset, you'll always come out the other side stronger, better.
Definitely. But the L's for me, that's why I always show them. When I started Legacy, the whole point was the only entrepreneurs that existed were the ones that were already made it. So your Richard Bransons, your Elon Musks, we know they're rich.
Bro, you're so right. Because we started 2012. 2012
but you never get to worlds, and you never get to see an entrepreneur grow from foundation level. I mean, dirt broke, like you can physically, they can write about it and say, yeah, I lived in a trailer park for a while, or I had no money and then I'm rich. Like, no, to physically see it, for me, is probably the most inspirational thing that you can truly engage in and be a part of, because you know it's not a facade. You saw it. You saw the build. You saw the bus rides.
I
You
see
saw
it from day one, bro. I see it from day one from bloody T McKenzie days. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like,
even
I'm
with
still
that.
friends with obviously Casey as well, and like I knew Casey from young. But you know what? Like, throughout that bloodline of Mackenzie's, the motivation and the dedication is fucking. It's just through the DNA, bro. All of it. Every Mackenzie out there is got this. Bro, it's just in your blood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I see it from Casey when he's 14 years old, man. He come to my studio and he started rapping like he had been rapping for like fucking years. And I was like, what the fuck is this kid, man?
He's got so much heart, that boy.
And from that day, I was like, yeah, you know, Casey, I feel like he's my brother. Do you know what I mean? And it was just, you know, and then I met you through Casey, and obviously I met his dad. And it was just like, you know what? You just get that scent of like, you know, that determination, that mindset.
Yeah.
Whole family, man. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to say, all of you, you know, inspirational people, man. Like I'm not being funny. When I was a kid, when I was a boy, and I see Leon score, do you know what I mean? Against the Scum, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like I was affected then. You know what I mean? And like to me, it was like, wow.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like,
And you know, because he's family to us, when we were in it, we're all just in it. So like, yeah, when he's playing ball, he's pushing me to while I'm in the studio, because in my mind, they're doing so much. And I'm like, right,
inspiration, bro.
I need to separate myself now. Even though we still run Team McKenzie, and if they've got promotions on, I'll plug, we do what we need to do, we all come together. But it generally spurred me on to do legacy for myself. To be like, okay, look, the family's
this is
lit.
my thing. This is my
thing. Let me get lit. And now, let me put myself in a situation where then I can start pulling up the youngsters. And like when Leon was scoring, they can see me get a win and go, raw, Jay's doing it.
He's doing his thing. Exactly. You don't want to be living in, like, because it must be difficult as well, because it has to be, because you don't want to also be living in shadows as well. And I get that. You need to have your own legacy, a part of the whole family brand in terms of what it brings as well. So like, I'm happy that you've got your thing as well, man. And I'm like, I'm seeing this, bro. And do you know what? Regardless of where it is now, whatever, I know for a fact in the future you're going to succeed with this, because it
took a minute, bro. It really did take a minute for us to even really get a grasp on the business. Like, I know obviously because you're in engineering, that it's such a wide field. To know what your speciality is in a field is never going to happen overnight. And this is to everyone online. If you've got any questions, please ask us. When you start your business, if you find yourself listing into a different place, just go with it. Don't ever tell yourself, oh, I don't want to tell people I did hair, but now I'm doing nails. So what? Go with the flow. If it went that way, just go.
Exactly. Like, bro, then that's real as well, because you say the flow, go with the flow. And it also like reminds me as well of like the law of least effort, man. It's a spiritual law, and it's so true. Like as well, when you're looking like engineering as well, like electricity, right? Like all electrical current will always go to the least path of resistance, like when electrical charges happen. And that law is a physical law in physics, right? The same applies to human beings, man. Like, we have this effortless law of nature that we can tap into as well in terms of following our purpose and our path. I find like a lot of the time when you're struggling, you're trying to fight against the outcome. You're always trying to swim upstream and try to get there the quick way. Sometimes when you let life just take you, like, just relax, man, go down the river, man. You know what I mean? See where it takes you. You'll end up attracting someone in your life that, like, oh my God, how the hell did I meet this geezer? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, saying that,
big up to Matt that just signed in now. That little geezer right there is that person. He's that.
Oh, right, word, man.
he literally came out of left field, and like, he's such a great guy, and he doesn't even realize that there's the power that there's so many people that truly believe in what him and True Riders are doing. Basically they run a car crew. So it's called True Riders, like Low Riders. It's on Netflix right now. There's a show called LA Originals, and they're the originators. He's like, Matt is like more your European side stuff. We've got a great documentary coming out with him now, called Drip and Blues with my artist Maybach. But the way he entered my life was literally through a person to another person to him. What's that?
Sorry,
Who's that,
brother, get
Erica?
my pizza, man. Keep talking, bro. I was gonna get my
Yeah,
pizza.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's that? What's Erica say?
In the office.
You've got to blend in and multitask. That's what makes the best entrepreneurs. Knowing a little of everything, small to big. Yeah, definitely, Erica. That, you know what? That is like my superpower. Being able to tap into multiple businesses and knowing enough to get the work done generally keeps me going and keeps me being unique to my situation. I don't know if you guys tuned in last week. I had a guy here called the Rum Ambassador, and we were talking about basically generating your own job path. It doesn't need to have a job title for it to be real. Like, knowing what you want to do and creating that lane for yourself, for me, is the best thing you can do for yourself, because then you're dictating to the world what hours you do, what your pay should be, how much you need on your team, what assets you need to bring on, all of those things. When you go and jump into a job role that exists, all that shit is laid out for you, and then you're walking that line. And for me, as an entrepreneur, to walk someone else's line is not an entrepreneur. You're basically a freelancer. You're freelancing onto a job, which is okay, but be okay with the stipulations that comes with that. Freelancing is a horrible, terrifying.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
And I always say, like, entrepreneurship is the most terrifying place to be in the world, because
I just don't get, though, with entrepreneurship, I think it's become quite glamorized the last 10 years. Like, there's nothing glamorous about working.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Like, there's a saying in there, like, why did you leave your 40-hour per week job to be an entrepreneur to work 80? Which is true.
Yeah.
And get paid less as well for the first fucking year.
Yeah.
Like,
basically.
It's
And like, even my phone, like I've had to tell myself now to turn my phone off, because guess what, people? My phone rings when and how it feels like. I do business with people in England, in Barbados, in America, in China, in Australia. They ring me when they feel like it.
That's the thing, right? So you could be up like in the middle of the night, like, and you have to take the call. Like, you can't not, and that's bad. You can't, like, because you have to sleep as well. That's hard, man. That's difficult, but you have to take the call. And this is like, it's the same with me, my engineering business, man. Like, bro, I remember times in the night where I've been called out. And it's like, I don't want to do this shit, but you've got this obligation to your customers. And it's like, I signed up for this shit, and you can't go back on your word in terms of what you're doing. And bro, it's just real, man. It's just so, like, I think as well, a lot of people.
Like one of my biggest deals came not Christmas gone, Christmas before. No lie, it was 1 a.m. and I'm going to my bed. I'm watching Netflix, but I'm checking the phone, and I shouldn't really be checking the phone. But the beat came in, and I thought, let me just look. You know, you get a little cheeky look when you're watching the film. You little, and I looked at the email. And all I saw was Fenty. And if any females are on here, and any Rihanna fans are on here, you know what Fenty is. As soon as I saw the email, I went, oh shit, let me answer that email now. As soon as I started, they're calling me. I end up being on the phone for 3 hours for a deal that I potentially basically could have missed, because all they were doing was fishing for somebody in the UK that was a tastemaker. There's a lot of us. If I had not answered the email, somebody else would have.
Bro, that's so important, isn't it? Within your industry as well, time and place, man. You've got to be on it, man. Like, there's no, like...
Always.
And that's the thing as well about business, I feel like. A lot of people see me now, and they see me, they see me balling and shit, and they see me in my car and shit, and they're like, oh, I do. But they don't understand, like, the first year, I was fucking broke as fuck. There was some weeks I couldn't pay myself. Like, people didn't see that shit. Like, I got a lyric in a song called Success, like, well, basically, they didn't see me when I was on my knees. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't see the first year. You know what I'm saying? They only see, like, the successful part. And that's part of the way humans are wired. They only want to see what's good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a part of the brain that takes them away from pain and moves them towards pleasure. So, like, we're all sort of programmed almost to tunnel vision to see what is good and what is attractive, rather than seeing what's painful. And this is
Yeah.
another thing in
Yeah.
terms of about being where you want to be. Like, you've got to understand the law of compensation would never had me succeed in the first 3 months and just
Basically. Oh, he's frozen. He's frozen.
sorry,
There we
someone
go.
was trying to call me then. I just cut out. But
That's
yeah,
annoying,
like,
that, isn't it?
people wouldn't have like seen it in that way
If it isn't time effective. That's what I want to say. Time and opportunities are a funny old one, and that's why I'm always telling people that this time that we've got here, this free time that we've got here, use it wisely. You ain't getting it again. Like, when you're at work, you'll always give yourself an excuse to, you know, not be reading that book or not doing that research. Like, it always, you know, you'll always find some kind of excuse not to do the work. Let's see if we can get him back in here. I think his connection went. Let's try and look for him. There he is. Let's add him back in. But yeah, like, you always give yourself that excuse why you don't have the time, and definitely it works.
bro. My connection didn't go. Do you know who it was? It was Papa John Pizza saying I can't find your house. I'm like, bro, I've already got my pizza, bro. I'm eating my pizza now. He's like, what? I was like, bro, I want a live Instagram thing. Go away. And he just did it. He's gone now.
Look at Matt. Matt, stop lying about I've been getting hench fit for 6 weeks now. I'm hench. Liar. That boy ain't gonna put up in like 10 years. But like, what I was saying to the people was, it's similar to that factor. Like, when something's painful, you tend to try your best to go around it, whether just to go through it and learn from it. Like, just do it.
That, bro. Yeah,
like go through it, get beat up, take the punches, take the kicks, all of that shit. Come out on the other end tougher and firmer from it, and then you pop in. Big up WK3 just jumped in. These men are sick rappers, by the way. Link that up. We're gonna link that up.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's fucking do that shit, man. And big up Darry as well, man. Big up my dog Darry, man. He's a sick rapper as well. Go check him out, man. Very talented.
Yeah. Let me check the time
as well.
But also, everyone, if you do have questions for entrepreneurship, or you're going for a business right now and you've got some unique questions to ask, because I'm telling you guys, I will never lie to you. When COVID happened, not in my house, it was like Godzilla came. I was literally screaming around my house going, fuck's sake, what's happening? What am I gonna do? I don't know. And then literally 2 days later, I went, oh man, I got this. Say nothing. And literally grabbed my phone. Yeah, I just grabbed my phone and went, right, what can I do? I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And from that date, I think I've been training since then. So I've been training for 6 weeks straight now, 6 days a week. And then picked up Audible. Will Star knows about Audible. It's a fucking godsend. I swear to God. Audible is like the gem app. If you don't have Audible on your phone, guys, go and get it now. Like, it will change your life for the better. Like, you'll find yourself learning about shit that you generally felt like you didn't have time to learn in the space of like a week.
I think that's what saved me. Like, the reason why I can be like in a really good financial position right now and like growing is the fact that I learned the right things in terms of mindset. A lot of people think you need to have all these skills to understand how to make money. But when you start to actually read about universal law and how it works, and you apply your actions to the laws, everything falls into bloody place, man. And I get it, you have to work hard, right? I get it. I'm not saying you don't. Like, it's a very important ingredient to put in there, right?
So Kurt, you just said, what's the most overlooked thing in business, you reckon?
Oh, okay, right. I personally, we'll both give separate answers to this, right? I think the most overlooked thing for someone, for example, starting a business what they don't understand and realize is actually the handling and the managing of the money, right? Because I can tell you, I learned so much in my first year, yeah? And I've got a bar in the song where the first month it humbled me when I had to pay back that VAT, right, in Ghost, right? And that was so real. Bro, I was like, well, I was bored, bro. I thought all this money was coming in. I was like, yeah, bro, I made it, man. And fucking hell, the VAT bill come in, and it was like, fuck, is that much? And it
Who's that? Who's got? Why do I got to pay that?
Why do I pay it back, bro? I don't want to pay that back. And it humbled the fuck out of me. It humbled the fuck out of me, man. Sorry to swear, but like that's how painful it was, right? And then I had to get my ass in gear, because it doesn't matter how much you earn. It doesn't matter if you're spending more than what you're earning. Your business is a sham, man.
You're done. You're done out here. And you know what? My answer is going to be a roll on from that. Literally, understanding how much your profit is regarding to your VAT and your freaking shit. I'm forgetting the words right now. Oh shit. Yeah, basically it all comes down to VAT. Don't ever get that money and go, yeah, it's mine. No. Instantly half it. Because I'm lucky, like my wife is my CFO and she's great with money. And
women
basically I took
to be better with money. They are. They just are. My missus, she does all our bills. She is like so fucking organized. I've learned so much from her. Yeah, like I'm a creative. I'm a messy bastard, mate. I will miss things. I will forget things. I'll be like, right, I'm all go, yeah, and I'll get stuff done. I'm the guy who loves to implement, act, creativity, get going. Like, do you know what I mean? But I will leave every important thing behind when I need to make sure they're in check. You know what I'm saying? So, like, women, like your partner, are the best accountability partners when it comes to finances, because they will kick your ass when you're overspending in certain areas as well. You feel me? You know what I mean? And that helps.
Trust me. Like my first check I got, don't like, don't get me wrong. I thought I was balling. I was like, how many zeros? I'm in it. And then literally, that's it basically. When I started Legacy London, T. McKenzie's is a limited company. And then I didn't actually register Legacy London to start with, which was a stupid thing to do, by the way. Like, people, register your companies. You'll cause yourself stress. But I basically, when I decided that I was going to basically get married to the wife and, you know, we was going to make the business a family thing, I made her my CFO on my company, on the header, basically. And so she got a chance to look at my books. And she was going through my books and going, what kind of criminal organization are you running? She was like, you've got no tax here. No, your VAT is way off. Like, she just basically brought it down to like bricks and water for me. So now, or like if you ever get email from me, guys, for like work, would from her. It's not from me. Like, she would have gone through that. She would have gone through that business with a fine tooth comb. And this comes down to like money management. She weighs up how much manpower we have to put into a job, how long it's gonna take, and if we need anything additional, and then it's priced. I was on this whole, I'm gonna call up homie and it should take a day. And then I'm getting there and it's 3 days and the thing ain't done yet. And I've underpriced myself now because I've basically done a 3-day work situation and got paid for a day. Wow. So big up to wifey because she's kept me alive.
We've
so that's
there. And women are just so good with like, I find you always need an accountability partner as well to look through your finances and what you're spending on, because you think things are a good idea, and then you have to understand whether the assets or liabilities to your business. And this is one thing I learned which has saved me massively in terms of like understanding like where's your money going and is it making more money for you in the future. So anything like can be a vehicle and anything can be like asset liability. So you have to think, right, am I buying this piece of equipment and is it adding value in terms of adding more money in the future? So could it be a piece of equipment that can make you more money, or can it be like a process or a task that's going to save you time, right? They're assets, right? Or is it a liability? So is it just like a subscription for something that comes out every single month that you don't necessarily need for your business? And if it's like, no, it's a liability. And like the best thing to do when you're doing this, because you'll acquire a lot of stuff and you'll sign up to a lot of subscriptions that you don't need in the first year, which you think you will, right? So after the first year, every single year, or even every single 6 months or quarter, man, go through what's coming out of your bank accounts and understand, try to put two categories together, whether it's an asset or a liability. And if they're liabilities, get fucking rid of them. Get rid of them, right? And then what you do is understand, like, okay, right, I've got rid of these. This is how much I've saved. Now put that money into assets. And when you keep recirculating this, you'll start to, like, honestly start to really leverage your time as well. Because there's some things and some processes, like virtual assistants nowadays are so cheap. Like, you can outsource absolutely everything nowadays, man. We're in the digital age, man. There's no excuses, like, to have no time, because, like, if you've got money and you need more time, that basically means you need to outsource. And if you're not outsourcing, you're not getting as much money into that business, because if you're completely, like, defined by time and you've got no time left in your business, how can you come up with more ideas? How can you come up with more products? Like, are you doing processes that you shouldn't be doing? And this is another thing. You've got to let go sometimes. The people, you've got to let go of these certain things. You can't micromanage every part of your business. Like Ray Dalio said in Principles, right? If he micromanaged everything, he would have never had like 1,000 employees at Bridgewater, and he would never got to the processes and, like, in terms of, like, creating that idea meteocracy that worked like oiled machine. Yeah. But it only worked because he had principles in place, right? That basically made it worked itself, because he had this system that he made, and it was just a completely oiled machine, and he was just letting it run like a beautiful machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and if you look at any business, and it's not, when it comes down to, like, even when you move up past $1 million, one of my mentors he told me this all the time, and he was always like, Jay, you never want to be a millionaire. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is to go for the beat. And I was like, I never understood why. And then he broke it down to me, and he goes, people at the billionaire level have automated businesses. Your Amazons, your Alibaba, it's automated. That shit makes money regardless of what's happening. It just goes. I don't even need to
real,
get up there.
Look at these big companies as well, Jay. Like Facebook, they don't make any content. Uber, they don't own any cars. Amazon, they don't own any product. All of these companies are just, like, remember how these companies work and why they're so successful, right? It's because they understand people's problems, right? And they create this avenue to be able to link people with their problems to products or solutions in terms of what they can buy. And that's all they do. And think of like all these massive companies, big, major listed companies, none of them own what they're actually putting out there. None of them.
Anything. And like you were saying earlier, when we came out of the banking crash, you started seeing all these businesses coming up, because it's like everybody cottoned onto it. Airbnb don't own any properties, but it's a multi-billion-pound company. Same for Uber. It doesn't own anything. Like, but that automation is vital. So even when I find myself running up and down like a headless chicken, I'm always like, right, we've got the business, we're earning from the business. Now let's secure our business, i.e. manage it so it runs by itself, and then we scale. So we partner wherever we got to get onto, and we move it up into, we want to do 100 million that we want to move it up. But right now, so we're at now with the point where we're securing the business, where I don't have to keep looking for contracts and looking for, people interest into the business. It just does what it does. You should think about entertainment marketing and think legacy, like instantly. You go, I don't want to do the work, but legacy can do it. Right, there's the website, click the button, pick what you need. It prices itself afterwards, and I just get the email, and it goes, right, okay, that's what we're going to do. Automated. So automation, guys, is the game key forward. Another gem. Make sure you're automating your system. Don't automate it straight away. Do the work first. Perfect the business. get it to where it works perfectly and consistently in order, like KFC, like McDonald's. It comes exactly how it's boxed every single time. Once you've got to that level, automation is your key. I know so many people right now that have jumped on the fitness thing. Big up to everyone that's doing their home fitness. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, same, bro. I'll be on
my missus, my missus does a fitness workout now, and I can't help it. I'm such a business head, but I asked her, like, what are you paying monthly? And she was like, oh, I'm paying £8 monthly. And I was like, okay, like, how many members does this person have? And she's like, oh, she's got over, I think it's just over 10,000 members. And my brain just did the maths. And I went, so they're paying that monthly? She was like, yeah. And they pay additional money for, like, nutrition plans and X, Y, and Z. I'm like, goal, succeeded, done. Like, that's pretty much clap. And that business didn't exist before COVID.
That's what I'm saying. She took advantage of the opportunity, and this is it.
Yeah.
There's people going to be very rich from this whole pandemic. I'm telling you, man. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my god, the world is ending. Okay, I get that, but please, people, the way you look at it, right? If you can split your perception to the opportunity, this is where people get extremely rich, because whilst everyone's contracting, there's opportunity to expand. And remember, like, okay, I get it. You're not going to expand in areas where they're shut, but you're going to expand in areas where they're thriving. You know what I'm saying? Like the fitness bands, man. Like, how many people, like, if you'd have known about this opportunity, like, how many people would have then done, like, you know, got these fitness band shops up? They would have made millions of pounds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Purely from the basis people can't lift weights at the gym. You know what I'm saying? So basically, opportunities, man. That, you know, you can. Man, it's so many people have become rich.
Think of this, yeah. Anytime people are thinking about ideas and they're overthinking their business plan and overthinking their product, just think about this as a theory. You ever been to the swimming pool, people? Like a public swimming pool, or like on holiday, and they have those stupid little floaty, like, tube things? Somebody made that, and they're a billionaire somewhere. Like, you have to think about that small little idea scaled will go. So don't overthink your idea. Never feel like your idea is inferior or it's not doing enough. No, just understand where it's going to place and understanding how you can scale it. Once you've figured that out, is what it is, isn't it? Really?
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So true. It's like the whole aspect of understanding people's problems, man. Once you know what people's problems are and you can provide value as a solution and you can charge for it, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's that simple, honestly, guys. You think, oh my god, it's so hard. It's not. If you can solve, you know, 1 million people's problems, yeah, and you charge them £1 for it, you're a millionaire, man. Simple.
Basically.
It's that real. Hey, Tembo Visuals has just joined. Tembo, my guy, man.
What's going on, brother? Yo, anyone that I missed, I do apologize. Shout to Amy. Shout to David. Shout out to Ra. There's enough people jumping in.
Mate, shout out, like, come in and out, like, you know. Just,
no, I'm always trying. Yo, people, just so I don't forget, you know what? I'm gonna go in the bag now and get who won the competition. Also, big up to everyone that shared the competition. I was taken back by how many people were generally up just to get involved, and I'm not giving away fucking flat screen TVs where you all jumped in and you all shared and you all liked and you all did. I was shocked. So props to you guys. No Behavior are sponsoring me today, as you can see. So the winner is going to get a No Behavior t-shirt, and I'm going to pick one at random. I'm literally going to go in here, and I'm just going to pick somebody out at random to get it. I'm going to say, who should I say? Who should I say, people? Who should I say? Who should get it?
Drum roll.
You know what? This girl has actually been in every single live I've done, and I've done some lives where there's been like 2 people in there, and she always jumps in. So Erica.Donna, the t-shirt is coming to you and the vape pack, so you're gonna win that. And
big up, Erica.
If somebody can drop me a question, a really good entrepreneur question, I'll send you something as well. A lot of people know Legacy London, our main business is brand management, so we do work with numerous brands. Literally right before COVID started, COVID. I know I'm willing it to finish right now. Right before COVID started, we just partnered up with Bel Air one more time. We were gonna come out of the deal with Bel Air, but they came back to me and were like, look, we really want to do positive parties. So parties that are full of like more for networking. I know I do my legacy socials quite often. They were like, we want to do that. So we just partnered up with Bel Air again. No Behavior, Good Side, Bad Side Clothing, Puma, Adidas, loads of vape brands, CBD companies. So there's so many companies that send me stuff. So I'm going to be doing giveaways pretty much the whole time we're in lockdown. You know why? Because my wife hates me piling stuff up in the cupboard. So the winner will get a vape pack from Vape Vixens, Vixen. They're a really cool vape brand, luxury. I think this is champagne and rubies. You'll get one of those, and you will get a t-shirt from. Let's get the bag out. Let's get the bag out from No Behavior. It's not a phase. Big shout out to them. So I just didn't want to forget. So we're gonna, just make sure I say it. Actually, Fresh Ego Kids. Let's notice the cat are sending me some stuff to give away.
Hopefully, you don't know, bro. You've won. That's my favorite brand, bro. That's my favorite fucking brand.
Hey, Marvin, Marvin's family. Marvin, who runs Fresh Ego Kids, is super inspiring to me. So I did send him an email. So hopefully, cross fingers, he'll send us some stuff, and I can give away a cat.
Man. That'd be so sick if he does, man. Honestly, that'd be so sick. Honestly,
I love Marvin.
I love his clothes.
If you ever get, you know what, I'm gonna try and get Marvin on here. For a live, he's so inspirational, Marvin. Like from where he was at in life to take a big change in directory from sport to what he's doing. And Fresh Ego Kid has always come with some dope gear. I always see you rocking a hat or something.
I've got like 10 Fresh Ego Kid hats, man. Like I rep them. Like I honestly, I made my own brand Star Apparel, but when I started seeing these Fresh Ego Kid hats, I was like, bruv, I'm buying these hats, man. That's how much I love their clothes and shit. Like, I don't buy many brands. Yeah, I don't waste money on anything. In terms of I don't floss. I don't buy like expensive brands of clothes and shit. Like, but I will buy Fresh Ego Kid when they've got a sale.
You're a joker. Right. We got some questions from your boy.
No, I'm being real, bro. I only buy the hats when they're half price, bro. Like, come on, man.
I'm not spending £30. Your boy, hey, big up to Tebow. Big up your boy Tebow, actually. The visuals that you guys have been dropping are sick. He goes, what's the best approach to picking a niche? I'm going to answer this, and I live by this. Your niche...
He's your man to answer this one.
Has to be something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it. So your niche is that thing that you wake up every single day, and if you wasn't going into work, what would you be doing? So whether that's fitness, whether that's playing computer games, whether that's drawing, whether that's music, whatever it is, the goal in life is to find a business that you would do for pure nothing.
Exactly.
That is
you even need to get paid for that shit. You
don't even care about it, because the best thing about it is once you work within your niche, you actually work way more. Because you love it. You can't wait to get.
It's not work, though, is it? It's not work.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's weird because when I'm like in my studio, right, and I'm creating my content for the week, I'm like, I lose track of time. I don't even know what time is. I'm like, I get the call from the missus saying, "What are you doing? Let's to bed." And I come to, I'm like, shit, I'm ready to bed. You know what I mean? It's because it's not fucking work, man. And it's not. It's just not work. And that's it. That's where you should be putting all of your attention on what you love, because it doesn't matter how much it pays you. You can have a job that pays you a lot of money, right? And I'm telling you now, I've been in positions in life, right, where I've seen the other side of the coin. And honestly, guys, this is why I preach it. And this is why I say in my podcast, money is not everything. It's a big factor, and you need it, and you need to be affluent. And I'm not saying it's bad either, but what I'm saying is, you can be in abundance in all these different areas of your life, and having that real balance is what's key. You know what I mean? And when you're in that balance, and when you're in that affluent place in terms of following what you love doing, I promise you, the universe will fund it for you. And you'll keep attracting your way through this life, man. And you just got to get into that attraction area, man. Into that sweet spot, you know what I mean?
I hear you. Big up to Elms Magazine. They're really sick actually. But Gael, I've got my countdown on now, so I've got to shoot. Got like 30 seconds left. But Will, thank you for coming on, man. You've been sick. We're gonna definitely get in to the big podcast after this is all over.
Right, 100%. I'm gonna get my guy Jermaine on my podcast as well. We've not actually spoke about it yet, but it's something. He's in my book in terms of list of podcast guests. So like,